South Africa. The name alone conjures up images, a land of stunning landscapes. Think vast savannas, picture majestic mountains that pierce the sky, imagine coastlines that stretch as far as the eye can see. But South Africa is more than just a pretty face. It's a country with a soul, a heart that beats with the rhythm of 1,000 stories. This is a place where ancient history meets modern vibrancy, where the echoes of struggle resonate with the melodies of hope. From the dusty plains of the Kalahari Desert to the bustling streets of Johannesburg, South Africa pulsates with a raw, untamed energy. An energy born from a tumultuous past and a relentless drive towards a brighter future. South Africa is a nation built on diversity. 11 official languages weave through its streets, a testament to its rich cultural tapestry. From the Nguni languages of the Zulu and Xhosa people to the Sotho-Tswana dialects, each tongue carries centuries of tradition and wisdom. This vibrant mix is a result of waves of migration, both ancient and more recent. Indigenous communities, the original inhabitants of this land, have walked its soil for millennia, their connection to the earth deeply ingrained in their traditions. The arrival of European settlers in the 17th century added another layer to this complex cultural fabric, bringing with it new languages, customs, and beliefs. But this melting pot of cultures wasn't always a harmonious blend. The arrival of colonialism brought with it a brutal system of segregation and oppression, tearing at the seams of this diverse society. Yet, despite the wounds of the past, South Africa's diverse communities have shown an incredible capacity for resilience, forgiveness, and unity. This is a story of survival, a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome even the most daunting of obstacles. It's a story about the enduring power of culture, of language, of tradition. It's a story about what it means to be South African. South Africa's story is not for the faint of heart. It's a story etched in struggle, forged in the fires of injustice and tempered by the unyielding pursuit of freedom. From the early days of colonial expansion to the brutal realities of apartheid, South Africa has known more than its fair share of darkness. This is a land marked by the scars of history. The wounds of oppression run deep, a constant reminder of the battles fought and the sacrifices made. Yet, from the ashes of these struggles, a new South Africa emerged, a nation reborn, not defined by its past, but strengthened by it. The fight against apartheid, a system designed to subjugate and oppress, became a beacon of hope for the world. It was a struggle that captured the hearts and minds of people across the globe, a testament to the power of unity and the unwavering spirit of those who dare to dream of a better tomorrow. This is a story about resilience, about the extraordinary courage of ordinary people who stood up against injustice. It's a story about the triumph of the human spirit over adversity. It's about the power of hope to ignite a nation and inspire a world. Long before the arrival of ships bearing explorers from distant shores, South Africa was already a land teeming with life, both ancient and extraordinary. We're talking millions of years ago, a time when our earliest ancestors took their first tentative steps on two legs. Deep in the cradle of humankind, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the bones of these ancient hominids whisper tales of our shared past. Imagine a landscape vastly different from the one we know today. Forests stretched across the land, teeming with strange and wonderful creatures. And amongst them, our distant relatives, creatures like Mrs. Pless, an Australopithecus africanus skull, and Littlefoot, a nearly complete Australopithecus skeleton, both unearthed from the Sterkfontein caves. These discoveries, along with countless others, have rewritten the story of human evolution. They tell us that South Africa, this land of sunshine and storms, holds the key to understanding our own origins. It's a humbling thought, isn't it? To stand on the same ground where our ancestors once walked, to breathe the same air, to feel the weight of millions of years pressing down on you. But the story doesn't end there. The cradle of humankind isn't just a graveyard of ancient bones. It's a living testament to the enduring power of life, a place where the past whispers to the present, reminding us of the incredible journey that brought us here. As the millennia passed, new inhabitants emerged on the South African landscape, the San and the Khoi. These nomadic hunter-gatherers, often referred to as the first people, forged a deep and spiritual connection with the land, their lives intricately woven into the fabric of the natural world. Imagine, small bands of people living in harmony with nature, their lives dictated by the rhythms of the seasons. The San, renowned for their remarkable rock art, left behind a legacy etched in stone. Their intricate paintings, found in caves and rock shelters across the region, offer a glimpse into their beliefs, rituals, and daily lives. These weren't just decorative doodles. They were powerful expressions of their spirituality, their connection to the animals, the land, and the cosmos. The Khoi, pastoralists who herded sheep and cattle, left their own indelible mark on the landscape. Their nomadic lifestyle, following the grazing patterns of their livestock, brought them into contact with different groups, fostering trade and cultural exchange. Their knowledge of the land, their ability to navigate vast distances, and their deep understanding of the natural world made them masters of their environment. The San and the Khoi, though distinct in their lifestyles, shared a profound respect for the delicate balance of nature. Their traditions, passed down through generations, emphasized living in harmony with the environment, a concept that resonates deeply in our modern world. The arrival of Bantu-speaking people migrating southward from Central Africa added another layer to South Africa's already diverse cultural tapestry. These skilled farmers and metalworkers established powerful kingdoms, their influence spreading across the region. Imagine vast settlements bustling with activity as iron tools and agriculture transformed the landscape and the lives of its people. Among these kingdoms, the great Zimbabwe Empire, with its imposing stone structures, stands as a testament to the architectural prowess and political sophistication of its builders. These weren't mere piles of rocks. They were symbols of power, wealth, and cultural achievement, their ruins whispering tales of a lost civilization. Further north, the Mapungubwe kingdom, perched atop a sandstone hill, flourished as a center for trade and cultural exchange. Gold, ivory, and other precious goods flowed through its borders, connecting this ancient kingdom to networks that stretched across the Indian Ocean. Imagine caravans laden with exotic goods winding their way across the savannah, their arrival heralding a time of prosperity and cultural exchange. The rise and fall of these kingdoms, their stories etched in stone and legend, serve as a prelude to the tumultuous era of colonialism that lay ahead. These early civilizations, with their unique traditions, languages, and beliefs, would face new challenges as European powers set their sights on this southern tip of Africa. The year was 1652. A small fleet of ships led by Jan van Riebeeck dropped anchor in Table Bay. This wasn't a friendly visit. These were tough sailors, hardened by the long voyage from Europe. They weren't here to admire the scenery. They were here on a mission to establish a refreshment station for the Dutch East India Company, a powerful trading enterprise with its sights set on the riches of the East. Imagine the scene: indigenous people, the original inhabitants of this land, watching from the shore as these strange, pale-skinned newcomers staked their claim. Little did they know that this seemingly insignificant event would mark a turning point in their history, a clash of cultures with far-reaching consequences. What began as a humble outpost soon grew into a sprawling colony, fueled by the insatiable European appetite for land and resources. Dutch settlers, hungry for opportunity, began to encroach on indigenous territories, pushing the original inhabitants further and further inland. The arrival of the Europeans also brought with it a new wave of forced migration. Slaves, ripped from their homes in other parts of Africa and Asia, were brought to the Cape to toil on the burgeoning farms and vineyards. The seeds of a deeply unequal society, rooted in racial prejudice and economic exploitation, were being sown. Section 2. The Dutch East India Company planting the seeds of division. The Dutch East India Company imposed its will on the land and its people. They carved up the territory, displacing indigenous communities. Local chiefs were reduced to puppets, their authority undermined. This wasn't just about land grabs and economic exploitation. The Dutch East India Company brought a worldview that saw the indigenous population as inferior. Schools were established to indoctrinate children with Dutch language and culture. European diseases decimated indigenous communities. Smallpox, measles and influenza left a trail of death and despair. Resistance was never far from the surface. Indigenous communities never surrendered their claim to the land. Skirmishes and acts of defiance served as a reminder that the spirit of freedom could not be extinguished. Section 3. The Great Trek and the Rise of the Boer Republics, a nation divided. Tensions between the British and the Boers reached a boiling point. The Boers, seeking freedom, embarked on the Great Trek. This mass exodus was pivotal in South African history. Thousands of Boers journeyed into the unknown. They faced deserts, mountain passes, and hostile tribes. The Great Trek led to the Boer republics, fragmenting South Africa. Section 4. Diamonds, gold, and the scramble for Africa, fueling the fires of conflict. The discovery of diamonds near Kimberley sparked a diamond rush that transformed South Africa into a global mining center. Prospectors from all corners of the globe flocked to the region, eager to strike it rich. Towns mushroomed overnight, their streets teeming with a motley crew of humanity. But this newfound wealth came at a heavy price. The discovery of diamonds exacerbated tensions between the British and the Boers. It also led to the dispossession of indigenous communities, their land seized. The discovery of gold in the Witwatersrand fueled the flames of conflict even further. The Boer republics found themselves at odds with the British Empire. The stage was set for a showdown, a clash of empires that would plunge South Africa into devastating wars. The seeds of apartheid were sown in the aftermath of the Anglo-Boer War. The conflict deepened racial divisions and fueled resentment among the defeated Boers. In 1910, the Union of South Africa was established, uniting the 4 British colonies. But this wasn't a union of equals. Political power rested with the white minority, marginalizing the black majority. Laws like the Natives Land Act of 1913 restricted black land ownership to 7%. This was about creating a system where one group held all the power. In 1948, the National Party, driven by Afrikaner nationalism and racial prejudice, rose to power in South Africa, introducing apartheid. The Population Registration Act of 1950 classified every South African by race, creating a hierarchy with white South Africans at the top. Pass laws required black South Africans to carry identification documents, restricting movement and opportunities. From the outset, black South Africans and their allies resisted apartheid through protests, boycotts and strikes. The African National Congress, ANC, led non-violent resistance inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, but the state's brutal response forced the ANC underground. The Sharpeville Massacre of 1960, where police killed 69 peaceful protesters, marked a turning point leading to armed struggle. Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, became a global icon of resistance, his spirit unbroken. Desmond Tutu, the Archbishop of Cape Town, challenged apartheid's morality, galvanizing international action. These leaders, along with countless others, dreamed of a South Africa where justice and equality would prevail. By the 1980s, apartheid was crumbling under internal unrest, international condemnation, and economic sanctions. Townships became hotbeds of resistance, and young people led the struggle for freedom. The international community increased pressure through sanctions, sports boycotts, and divestment campaigns. In 1990, Nelson Mandela walked free, signaling a new chapter for South Africa. F.W. de Klerk realized that a negotiated settlement was the only way to avoid civil war. Despite deep mistrust and violence, Mandela's leadership and message of reconciliation paved the way for a new constitution. On April 27, 1994, South Africans of all races voted together for the first time. The ANC, led by Nelson Mandela, won a landslide victory, and Mandela became South Africa's first black president. His inauguration speech called for justice, peace, and equality for all. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC, chaired by Desmond Tutu, aimed to confront apartheid-era abuses. The TRC provided a platform for victims to share their stories and seek amnesty in exchange for full disclosure. Despite criticisms, the TRC played a vital role in South Africa's transition, promoting forgiveness and reconciliation. South Africa, born from apartheid's ashes, faces deep-seated inequalities and social divisions. The journey towards a just and equitable society continues with persistent poverty, inequality, and social unrest. Yet there's hope and vibrancy, with a new generation determined to shape its own destiny. South Africa has made significant progress in education, healthcare, and housing, but challenges remain. Poverty, unemployment, and inequality persist, particularly among the black African population. The dream of a truly rainbow nation, where all citizens have equal opportunities, remains elusive. South Africa stands at a critical juncture, with the potential for success if it commits to social justice, economic inclusion, and good governance. Investing in quality education and empowering young people are crucial for breaking the cycle of poverty. Addressing corruption and strengthening the rule of law are essential for restoring trust in government. Ubuntu, the spirit of interconnectedness, sustained South Africans through apartheid and continues to inspire hope. It's about recognizing the inherent dignity of every human being and understanding our well-being is linked to others. Ubuntu offers a roadmap for unity, compassion, and building a just and equitable society for all. Section 1, a future written in the stars. South Africa's story isn't finished, it's still being written. Every day a new page turns, a new chapter begins. This is a country brimming with potential, bursting with raw talent and untapped energy. The challenges are real, yes, but so is the resilience of its people. Remember those stars we talked about, the ones that have witnessed centuries of history? They hold a special significance. They remind us that even in the darkest of times, there's always light, a glimmer of hope that refuses to be extinguished. South Africa, with its tumultuous past and vibrant present, holds a mirror up to the world. It's a reflection of our shared humanity, of our capacity for both great love and unimaginable cruelty. It's a reminder that the fight for justice, for equality, for a world where everyone has the chance to live a life filled with dignity and hope is a never-ending journey. So, let's raise a glass of toast to South Africa, to its people, to their strength, to their spirit, to their unwavering belief in a brighter tomorrow. The future is unwritten, but one thing's for sure, the world will be watching, cheering them on every step of the way.